Mahatma Gandhi once said, "Literacy in itself is no education. Literacy is not the end of education or even the beginning. By education, I mean an all-around drawing out of the best in the child and man body, mind, and spirit." From the very start of the year 2020, everyone in the world has been affected by the COVID-19. Our lives have changed in every way possible. We students and our teachers have especially experienced a great change in terms of education. COVID-19 has caused suspension and cancellation of research and teaching activities globally. The virus has also reached its peak in many countries, resulting in a dangerous amount of school closures, which has kept 90% of students out of school. And over 370 million children who are dependent on school meals needed to feed themselves have been induced to starve since the outbreak. All these events have proven that the education system was drastically affected by the pandemic because it was not built nor prepared to deal with the current situation. COVID-related school closures have affected children unequally, as not all of them have the opportunities or the tools needed to keep the learning process running. As the virus spread over the world, many schools went online, relying on virtual education to replace in-person learning. However, this is only beneficial to those who lived in well-equipped regions. School closures had a significant impact on disadvantaged communities, particularly in countries without the technology required for online learning. Two-thirds of the world's school-aged children, or 1.3 billion children aged 3 to 17 years old, do not have internet connection at their homes. Lack of connectivity doesn't just limit children's ability to connect online, it makes it impossible for them to compete in the modern economy. These issues have spread across countries in Africa, Asia, and Latin America, putting additional strain on education systems in developing countries, many of which are already struggling to offer a high-quality education for all. This separates them from the rest of the world. Here in Indonesia, students have unequal access to facilities and infrastructure. Online learning heavily depends on network coverage, yet the coverage varies highly between regions. Statistics Indonesia reported that more villages in Java receive a strong signal compared to the other regions. There are 2.1 million students in Papua, but only 25% of them receive a strong signal. In 2020, the highest dropout rate in Indonesia was at the high school level, at 1.13%. In comparison, the dropout rate at the elementary school level was 0.11%. If these numbers continue to increase, the dropouts could experience serious educational deficiencies that severely limit their economic and social well-being throughout their adulthood. The executive director of the United Nations Children's Fund, Henrietta Fore, pointed out that the longer children remain out of school, the less likely they are to return. The COVID-19 pandemic has caused widespread disruption in schools, posing a global education emergency that threatens to derail the education of at least 24 million kids who are expected to drop out. Children greatly suffer when schools are closed for extended periods of time. Their mental health has been affected. They're more vulnerable to child labor and sexual abuse, and they're less likely to break free from the poverty cycle. Sustainability is defined as meeting our needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Sustainable Development Goal 4 aims to ensure inclusive and equitable education and promote lifelong opportunities for all. However, the COVID-19 has erased decades of future plans for this goal. COVID-19 is very close to destroying the young, bright, and dedicated minds of this generation. We need to find a better way to deal with the situation, because when we deal with education, the decision that we make today will impact tomorrow's world.
Okay, thank you.
Anika, I have a
you-
quick question for you. You described the problem very well of young children in developing countries that are unable to get access to internet or don't have computers for Zoom classes. What can the UN do? What's a solution to that problem, in your opinion?
The price is the most problem because, for example, if you take many people in Indonesia, like I mentioned, it's technology like computers, laptops, and network coverage is really expensive. So maybe by decreasing the price and making it affordable and reasonable to them, they might be able to afford it. So it's going to be fair for them. And students deserve to get the education. And just because of network coverage, their education is getting like delayed. That is not fair.
Okay, thank you.